I honestly don't know how some of y'all are finding this season boring. Like, I personally cannot relate. I mean, the people are messy, the gameplay is wild, the pendulum of power keeps swinging every single week. Every single day has been complete chaos, and I am so here for it. There is so much to talk about today, including the new HOH's plans for the week. But first, if you have not already, consider hitting the subscribe button below just so you can stay tuned, as I will be here doing these lovely recaps all season long. Now, let's get into this mess. So, as we saw in last night's episode, Izzy was just evicted in an almost unanimous vote. Her eviction was intended to be a huge blindside at first, but as we all saw, she definitely knew it was coming. But before we get into what's next for the week, we have got to talk about all the drama that took place just before the vote, because it was insane. The day before the eviction, we all know that there was a secret plan in place to evict Izzy and turn the house upside down. Initially, Cirie, Izzy, Jared, and Blue were all left out of this plan, but we all know how crafty Cirie is, and she got the sense that something was amiss. So, Jared is going to go up to Matt to ask him about this vote. Jared does a crafty lie here and tells Matt that Jag had already told him that Izzy was going to be the one to leave. This, of course, totally isn't true, and at first Matt denies everything, but eventually he's going to pull Jared aside to tell him the truth. Matt tells him all about the Izzy blindside and about how all of his alliances in the house are being exposed.
You know I trust you and Cirie, but apparently there's been words that the seven that says there's been a fake alliance. There's another alliance called For Real. There's 7 people in it, and that we were just your next targets, which I don't believe. I know Jag was the next target, but there's just been so much shit going on.
Now, before we get into the specifics of this, let's back it up a little bit to week 4. Cirie, Izzy, and Felicia, and to some extent Jared, had just formed 3 major alliances consisting of literally everyone in the house. There was the 7 Deadly Sins, there was Legend 25, and there was For Real. They had everyone on their side, and for a while they were successfully playing the middle of the game. But I always say that the middle is the most dangerous place to play in Big Brother, and they're about to find out the hard way. You see, Cory knew that they were playing all sides of the house, right? They told him about everything because they trusted him a lot, and for a while he was super quiet about it. But over the past week or so, Jared and Cory had been getting into a lot of arguments, mainly circulating around America. Jared was stating multiple times that he would target America, and Jared also kind of leaked the secret about Cory's brother being on Survivor. Izzy did also mention to Cory that she didn't trust America and would like her to go at some point too. And the culmination of all of this buildup is going to lead Cory to turn on Jared and pretty much blow his entire game up. So now that we're all caught up there, we are now in a situation where Jared is obviously pissed at the fact that Izzy's leaving and the fact that everything he's worked so hard for is now being blown up in his face. He's gonna bring Cory in to confront him about all this, and that is where the fighting starts.
You came to me in game room and threatened I'm going to put her up, and here's why.
Cory, did I put America up?
It's not...
I had nothing but space and opportunity to put her up, which you have been... Just so you guys are very clear at this moment, everything that I've been laying out on the table has been very straightforward to you. I have never hid the fact to you that I was coming after America. But everything that I'm hearing from you right now at this moment is you've been lying to me to protect your game, because you're trying to figure out a world where me and America can exist together.
This fight goes on for almost 2 hours, and they are just fighting in circles over and over again. They argue about damn near every single conversation that these two have ever had together. Cory is doing his best to make everybody realize that Jared is a liar. Jared is doing his best to ruin Cory's reputation. I mean, it's all a hot mess.
That's the truth.
Cory, you already threw everything under the bus. Like, let's just keep it up front, bro. So this is what I'm trying to say. Stop, like... I just hope you guys notice that I've been very straightforward, direct, and honest, and I'm very passionate about this shit because you're trying to call me a liar, and I feel like you just exposed yourself right now.
These two started off really strong together, but they haven't gotten along for a while now. They've gotten into multiple arguments before at this point, so all this tension has really been building up for a couple weeks, and they just let it all out.
The only time I start feeling maybe that's not the case is when I start hearing from a lot of people, and it's not just Jag and Cameron. You have to understand that, and I hope you also understand why I'm not fucking coming out here and blowing up people's games, because these are people I want to work with going forward. Obviously.
That's fine.
Right?
That's
and I'm
fine.
hearing not that you're necessarily targeting me, but that you're directly lying to me, not telling me shit, and working against me, even if it's not directly. And that's a fucking problem for me, because I've viewed you for a while, and I've been transparent about this as my fucking final two.
Cirie eventually walks in to join this conversation, and I just know that Mama was completely shook at the shit that Jared had got himself into.
Point of all of this right now, why is this happening?
Because Cory, basically, so you know exactly what's happening. He wants to vote out Izzy now, right?
Oh my God, Jared.
Is that not what this whole shit was about? You just told me to bring Cory up here because y'all was ready to tell me that things are going the other way.
She's trying her best to diffuse the situation and to help Jared out without making it too obvious. But honestly, it's a little bit too late. The damage is already done, Jared's game has been blown up, and in 1 week, Jared went from being probably in the best position in the house to being the house target. Cory didn't get off completely unscathed here either. He may have won the battle, but a lot of his lies were exposed in this process too. This is going to make things especially tense as we head into the next HOH competition. It was the classic wall comp, and this one happened to be the shortest wall comp in BB history, lasting just under 45 minutes. It all came down to Bowie, Blue, and Jared, but in the end, we see that Jared actually won and will now be our next HOH. This was a very bittersweet moment for me to watch. On one hand, Jared is one of my least favorite house guests, if I'm being honest. But on the other hand, Cirie is one of my favorites, and she's safe this week, which is all I really wanted. I'm also loving how the pendulum keeps on swinging back and forth this season, and I'm kind of loving the timing of Jared's HOH win too. Look, I know that Cory is a fan favorite out there, but the timing of Jared's winning couldn't be messier and more entertaining. Sorry. When the feeds come back on after the HOH comp, that is the time where we really start to see the after effects of this fight. And it was actually worse than I thought. Not only did Jared lose the trust of Cory, Matt, and Cameron, but he also lost Blue too. While the feeds were off, Blue was filled in on all the lies Jared told and all the secret alliances he made, and now she is out for revenge.
Okay, first and foremost, whatever I don't know about Jared,
I'm not saying shit. I have things I want to talk to you about.
Okay, because here right now, that bitch is done. That bitch is done for me. First and foremost. But I'm going to keep up.
You have to. You have to, yeah.
To get information. Because he will tell me things.
Blue is going to start telling all of Jared's secrets to Jag and Matt. She isn't revealing the big secret about his mom quite yet, but she is swearing up and down that she's going to throw those two on the block together.
If I win next week, I'm putting him up and I'm putting Cirie up.
That's fair. Yeah. That's fair. It's totally fair.
A few days ago, I had said that all it would take was Jared and Blue getting into a little lover's quarrel for Blue to turn on Jared. And now it's looking more likely than ever. Now, I don't know how serious Blue is about all this, because since talking all that shit, she has gotten a lot closer to Jared, but I do believe that she is a messy enough player to follow through with it. In fact, Blue, Jag, Cory, America, and Matt have all temporarily teamed up to bring that whole family style thing back together. It is definitely nothing official, and it is still really shaky since Cory and America aren't really trusted that much, which I think is fair. In other news, Mimi and Felicia are also pretty skeptical of Jared and Cirie now too. Mimi has always been on the outs about a lot of the alliances and gameplay going on in general. Felicia, on the other hand, has been in on it, but she's now starting to realize that Jared isn't as close to her as she once thought.
Or a part of me believes that Cirie may have made a final two with Jared.
I think so. I think so.
See, her and I have a final two. And we did it the first day. But I believe she's probably final two with Jared and hadn't told nobody.
Probably so.
Cirie and Jared are rapidly losing all of their people, and their long game just looks worse and worse every single day. Jared is gonna go do his one-on-ones with everybody, but his mind is pretty much made up. He wants to nominate some combination of Cory, America, and Cameron, but ultimately he wants Cameron to be the target, which makes sense given his comp wins.
I'm just letting you know right now, my mind is not made up yet.
Yeah.
It's definitely between those three.
No, yeah.
Like, definitely between those three.
It's your HOH.
Cameron
You do what you
is
want.
the ultimate goal. 100%.
Right.
Cameron is the ultimate goal.
The feeds go off for the nomination ceremony, and when they come back, we see that Cory and America are indeed on the block together. This move definitely makes sense, especially considering the fight and all that stuff that happened yesterday. But, and I'm gonna say something absolutely batshit crazy here, but I don't think it would be a terrible idea if Jared reconsidered targeting Cameron altogether. Just bear with me for a second, because although Cameron is a comp threat, he's also completely alone in the game. He failed to pull any numbers during his HOH, and he's still the house target. Again, this is gonna sound completely crazy, but if Jared was able to get rid of Cory this week and pull in Cameron as a number, I think that could be even better for his game. Hear me out here. Right now, Cory and America would love nothing more for Jared to send Cameron's ass home. That way they both get to stay in the game as a duo together, and they can both target Jared next week when he's not eligible to win the HOH. Like, that is literally Cory and America's dream scenario right now. So by targeting Cameron, yes, Jared is doing his own dirty work, but he's also doing Cory and America's bidding too. Right now, Cameron is the only person in that house that has a big target on his back like Jared, so Jared keeping him in the game as a shield may not be a bad play.
I'm really over the pass, bro.
And I'm telling you.
I'm putting the pass
I'm telling you,
now.
if I don't touch that block this week, you have a fucking brother. I will do anything. I'm not going back on that shit. If I make that goddamn deal, if you can make that goddamn deal, you have your first fucking locked November 9th vote in your pocket.
I know it's a long shot. There is always the risk of Cameron turning back on Jared, but Cory and America definitely will. Plus, they already have support and numbers behind them, and they have each other. Cameron, on the other hand, has literally no one right now, and he knows that he's gonna need a friend if he wants to make it to the end. So, of course, I want to know, what do you all think of Jared's HOH plans? Is Cameron the right person to target, or should it be someone else instead? Let me know in the comments below. Of course, nothing is settled right now, and it's all gonna depend on what happens with that veto. So, of course, I will be back here to update y'all if anything else changes in the game, but until next time,